seam finishes is the French seam. There is no need for a serger and it looks great because there are no raw edges on the inside of your garment. Let me show you how easy it is to sew a French seam. Always check your sewing pattern to determine what your seam allowance is and divide by 2 to determine where your stitch will be. I will use 1 inch as the seam allowance for this video. Unlike a plain seam, you will start with the wrong side of your fabric facing each other. Pin your fabric and stitch 1/2 inch seam allowance. Trim the seam allowance to about 1/4 inch. Press the allowance to one side. Now fold the fabric along that stitch line to enclose the seam allowance and then press again. Next, stitch another 1/2 inch seam allowance along the pressed edge to encase the raw edge. Finally, press the seam allowance to one side and you now have a beautifully finished seam with an encased fabric edge. If you have any comments or questions, please add them to the comment box below. Don't forget to subscribe for more fashion and sewing DIY videos.